Welcome to the parents of all our sixth years in Cork Community School. My name is Catherine Walsh and my colleague's name is Michael Howley, and we are the guidance counsellors in Gort Community School. The purpose of this slideshow is to support parents to help you over the course of the school year and indeed right through to the end of August with the information in it. So we suggest that you can revisit this slideshow in sections as it applies, because it might be too much to take in altogether. We are supporting our students in various ways in Leaving Cert with their career progression. We are communicating with them in several ways. One of the main ways is through the Teams account we set up for them called Leaving Cert 2022 Careers. There we post key information, in particular information on virtual open days or evenings that are on our career information sessions that may be helpful to the sixth year student. We also send emails to the whole year group and in some cases to small subgroups for specialist information on a specific career area. So we'd advise sixth years and their parents to keep check on our Teams posts in that account and to read the emails. We are also available to meet the students to book an appointment on Mondays at lunchtime. They can come over to us in our offices on the first floor in the Noon building, where we have a student support service unit. They can also talk to us on Tuesdays at lunchtime. We'll be outside the Noon building if they have any questions that they want to ask us. We are inviting each Leaving Cert to meet us at least once for one class over the course of the school year. We're keen to meet each student at least once to support them as they transition onto the next phase of their further education and training after Leaving Cert. We have also designed a programme of careers classes which we are rolling out over the course of the school year, and we have arranged a series of career talks from college lecturers who are presenting virtually to our sixth years. We have set a careers library up also in the Noon building, which is full of college prospectuses. The main options after Leaving Cert, and the vast majority of students in this school, is through the Central Applications Office, the CAO, which this slideshow concentrates on. We have also some information on PLCs and Chagas, which are other routes that students from the school opt for, and to a lesser extent, but equally as important, would be the apprenticeships and traineeships route, and there's been an awful lot done on apprenticeships because there is a shortage. A very tiny number would apply for study abroad, either in the UK or Europe, and some would take a gap year to work before they decide on what to do, and some take and go straight into employment. Applying to the CAO in Ireland means applying to an Institute of Technology or a university, and I'm going to approach it from before you apply, which overlaps with the actual application stage, and then later what happens after you apply. I'm talking more or less from May to the end of September. So the pre-application stage is over now because it's actually open, but when they came back in August, we were encouraging them in those classes that we gave to check out what the college has to offer and what the entry requirements are into the college and into the specific course. So where can you find this information? The college undergraduate prospectus that I mentioned is over in the careers library with us in the Noon building. The college websites are excellent, particularly since the pandemic. They did amazing work on creating sections of the website for Leaving Cert students only, or mostly. So if you go into any college website and you click on study or course, undergraduate courses, you will be brought into all the courses that your son or daughter are open to applying for. Now, another part of college entry requirements is to know what you need to get into the course, and Qualifax is an excellent website. Students are familiar with it. There is a section under the Students button where you can find a course in the Higher Education CAO, and you simply type in the course title or keywords that you're interested in and filter the search to either the award name at level 8 or level 6 and 7, and you can choose a course, and once you click into the course you can read the Leaving Cert entry requirements for the chosen course. So this is also in the college website under the college course in key facts or entry requirements, and it's in Qualifax, a search engine, which is an excellent website for all Leaving Certs. This is what an undergraduate prospectus looks like. So this is this year's GMIT, and they very kindly gave one for every single Leaving Cert in the school. So they need to just pop over to us in the new building to collect their copy. Down the side, you can see all the different sections that are there, which are great prompts if you're wondering what's out there and what to do. And it's nice to flick through it in the evening rather than have to do it online. They are all online, by the way, all the college prospectuses, but we were lucky enough to get some from GMIT, NUIG, and we will have some from LIT and UL. The college website hub looks something like this. So when you go into NUI Galway and you /CAO, so www.nuigalway.ie/CAO, you're brought into a hub. The same as if you went into ul.ie/CAO. And in the hub, you'd see the undergraduate prospectus online, and you'll also see it in the courses if you scroll down. And if you scroll down even further, you'll see about podcasts and recorded virtual open days. When you go into the Qualifax website that I mentioned, you click into this Students button, then you click in on the left-hand side to Course Finder, you can scroll down to the Higher Education CAO, and when you click in there, a page comes up where you get to type in the course title or keyword and the award level 7, 6 or level 8 and search, and then click into the courses that you're interested in. Another source of information would be the CAO website itself, which is again much improved only this past summer. They have now revamped it and they have put in information for parents. There's videos, and they're a lovely quick way of you to learn about different sections of the CAO application process. They have a demo practice application, they have a guidebook which is quite good, and they have information. I like the way they've done the here and there schemes in the CAO. If you click on the homepage of CAO into the applicants button, again, you have more tools available, and the students themselves are familiar with all of this. So they have the handbook in there. They can find the points for any course. Last September, the last person in the door to the course, that's called the cutoff points for any course in the CAO, which they like to know, because then they can go along and do their own points calculator. They know how to do that, either using the one in the CAO or using the one on Qualifax under useful tools in the student section of Qualifax. Within the CAO account, under the applicants button, there's an alert list. So if there's any changes to the CAO handbook that they have been reading and checking, it will be posted there. So what's a change? A change would be if a course was cancelled, if a new course was introduced, if a course title changed its name. The demo application is a great practice run, but there as well to just do the real application at this stage because it's quite user friendly. The here and there schemes information is also there, and we'll talk about that later on. So this is what it looks like. This is the homepage. So if you www.cao.ie and you click into applicants, and you can click into the parents and guardians. Now they also have information on apprenticeships and PLCs. It leads you into these. It isn't where you apply. It'll just direct you into the websites responsible for those options after Leaving Cert. Again, what's going on all through October, November, and again in the spring would be what's called virtual college open days. So these are live open days online that your son or daughter can register for and then click into live on the day. So for example, last October, on the 2nd of October, it was a Saturday, NUIG had a live open day. Some of the Leaving Certs and indeed fifth years attended online at home. They just plugged in and they had registered in advance, and we had reminded them through the Teams account. They can also check the college website. If you just simply Google the college that you're interested in going to the open day for. So for example, Mary Immaculate College Virtual Open Day 2022, there you should find one that's on in January. Now, Qualifax has a whole section that tells you what's going on in all the colleges. So when you go back into Qualifax, the students button, and you click into career events, all the upcoming career events will be there. In addition, you can type in the specific course provider you're interested in. For example, at Mary Immaculate College, type it in, or NUI Galway, and it'll tell you all that's going on in those colleges. The college prospectuses I mentioned are online, and they're also in our careers library over in the new building. So you can go and you can turn on your laptop or tablet and go onto the interactive college prospectus for Leaving Certs. They're undergraduates at any stage. So again, there's the GMIT one and there's the NUIG one. We also have arranged for college lecturers to come and speak or present virtually to the Leaving Cert students. So NUIG and GMIT, there's a series of talks ongoing throughout November, December and January, and even into the 1st of February. We hope to have a talk on PLCs, apprenticeships. We already had one on the HERE scheme, and we will have one on student grants. We're working on the UL talk because there is interest in particular in the secondary school teaching degrees that are provided by UL, and pending demand we will look at Mary Immaculate College. So a Leaving Cert can sign up for these talks by coming over to us on Mondays at lunchtime and signing the roll sheet of the talk that they wish to attend, and they've been very good at this, and I'd encourage anyone who hasn't yet to come and see us and do so. The talks are held every Tuesday, class 6, in room 8, which is a demo room. It's the biggest room in the school for these virtual talks to be held in. The career talks from GMIT, we've had the engineering one, we're going to have the health science, which is nursing and childcare. We have one on science, and later we'll have one in business. Pending demand, we will organise one from the Agricultural College at Montpellier and Dublin Road, and the Hotel, Tourism, Culinary Arts, and the Computer and IT. The NUIG career talks are all virtual also, and the lecturers are going to present throughout December and January from commerce, science, engineering, arts and law. And again, the Leaving Certs have been signing up for these talks. So in actual fact, they get 2 talks on business and commerce, one from NUIG and one from GMIT, and the same for science and engineering. We will look at how with the Leaving Certs on how they can email a lecturer to find out specific questions like course entry requirements, if they have a very specific question, or how to, is there work placement, or is there a stint abroad, a semester abroad, what work do graduates go on to do, post-degree, and what further study do they go on. So this brings us to the section on how a young person chooses what it is that they are going to go on to work as further study, train, or educate themselves in. So self-awareness is a really powerful tool, and know thyself is the famous quote. The thinking behind it is, if you know yourself, you'll be happy in what you go on to work in, and you'll be putting a jigsaw about yourself together. So the Leaving Certs can get quite anxious not knowing, and we tell them, look, you are starting a phase in your life and you may change down the line. In fact, this generation, according to career theories and studies, will change at least 4 times. So once they start training in something, they can work on it and they can move different ways. It's not that they're going to have everything mapped out this year. They're making a start on the next stage. The factors to consider that might help when choosing a career direction or a course are, what are your interests? So what is the young person's interests? What is their aptitude and ability? What are they suited to academically? Where are their points coming in at? And we encourage them to track their own results by accessing their VSWare accounts and their reports, and they can go into the Qualifax or CEO points calculators. Their learning style. Some students like to learn by doing practical or applied learning, and the Institutes of Technology have a very strong emphasis on that methodology. They are very much into what they call the 3 Ps: project work, placement on work, and practical work in labs and field studies. So the more academic theoretical side of learning would be where you're given the information, the sources of information, and you have to go dig in and research it yourself. And traditionally the universities had that approach, although they have introduced in the last decade and a half, they have really introduced a lot of practical work, project work and work placement, and increased their links with colleges and universities abroad. A young person needs to look at their personality and know themselves, and they are, in fairness to them, the vast majority are very honest with themselves and saying that would not suit me, and I wouldn't be able to handle that, or I would really, really like to do this. I get such a buzz out of it. I have such interest in this. The geography and location of the course is something that needs to be taken into account. Now, I would say to them, and Mr. Howley's the same, what can you do near you? Because Gort is so well placed geographically. They can commute to UL, Limerick IT, GMIT or NUIG, or even Athlone. Because of the motorway, they can really access any of these colleges. They ought to only be considering Dublin and Maynooth and places if they have relatives to stay with, because of the accommodation situation in Dublin at the moment. The cost then, like, can they afford to do the course? We would encourage them to continue, get a student loan. The investment in an education at further, in a higher education institute is worth it in the long run, spread over their working lives. Entry requirements, to make sure that they have them, that they're not applying for a course where they're expected to have a subject at a certain level. For example, primary school teaching, they need the H4 in Honours Irish. So if they're not doing higher level Irish, they ought not to be applying for that. That's one example. They need to look at the duration, how long the course is. Are they going in for a 3-year honours or 4-year honours degree? Are they going in for a 3-year ordinary level 7 degree with the intention of progressing to a 4th year, or exiting and coming back and doing the 4th year at a later stage? And what are their influences? Are they influenced by what their friends are doing, what everyone else is doing, what their older siblings did or didn't in fact do, what the media is telling them to do? It's really important that they are aware of influences and that they look at their own self, personality, academic ability, learning style, and so on. What helps a student then to choose a career direction would be the virtual open days, evenings or mornings. Now, throughout the month of November, once a week, NUIG had a virtual talk on different areas. So they had science and engineering one evening for 2 hours. They had law, business and the Shannon Hotel and Business College another evening, and so on. So they did 4 of them in 4 key areas, and students could attend those. They also had open days, as do UL and GMIT. They have the career talks that are on Tuesdays, class 6, to check out what's going on, and if they want to sign up, they're more than welcome to do so and attend. The on-campus open days hopefully will open up in the spring, pending the government guidelines on COVID. The career events and information sessions that are going on everywhere, there is an awful lot going on, and I would encourage them to attend. A lot of the talks are posted on YouTube if they search them. So it would be worth looking into it. For example, NUIG Science and Engineering Information 2021, that would bring up what the 2-hour talk was there in November, early November. Work experience, if it's an option, it's probably not, at least during the pandemic. However, if it isn't, then work shadowing, where they just sit in the background and they observe, and they maybe can get to ask questions at break times. And if that isn't an option, I would strongly advise them to chat to a person, or if possible 3 different professionals in that, working in that career area. So if they want to be a primary school teacher, to find 3 different primary school teachers, ages, stages, gender. The same with, say, nurses, physios, whatever it is they're interested in doing. More ways to find out what suits include psychometric tests. Now, these are another piece of that jigsaw about me. Tracking school test results on VSware and linking as parents with other parents. Maybe your friend would be able to chat to your son or daughter about what they do, and vice versa, that you would help each other out in community, and that they would certainly come see the guidance counsellors, take up the one-to-one meeting for one class that they're all being offered, and check the Teams posts, listen in the careers classes, and look out for the emails that we send. Now, just a little bit more on psychometric testing. Psychometric tests are to help enhance self-awareness. There is a company called the ETC Consult in Dublin who run an online test that schools' guidance counsellors can buy, and then the student can pay the school through easy payments to get the code and license to do the test at home. So it's an online test. It takes about 2.5 hours. They can do it in different sections if they don't want to do the whole 2.5 hours together. Is it worth it? Students that I trialled it out on did find it worthwhile. It helped when they were very lost on what they wanted to do. What it does is it generates a report which is sent to the guidance counsellors, who then send it to the Leaving Cert student to read, and then the Leaving Cert and the guidance counsellor can go through it together and discuss the different options that were suggested. So about 16 different career or jobs are suggested to help. Careers Portal is an excellent website, and there's a lot free in there because they wouldn't have a Careers Portal account, the current Leaving Certs. So there's free interest tests there. And Qualifax also has a free interest test. So this is the careers portal. So if you Google careers portal interest test, this will come up and you can join here, and then you can click in and do what's called the careers portal interest profile. Another personality test that would help a Leaving Cert student find out what would be suitable to them from the point of view of a career direction is the John Holland personality type. He's a famous American occupational psychologist who came up with this. So John Holland divided us all into one of these 6 types. So just to briefly take you through it, the realistic types, which one is your son or daughter? Are they belonging to this group where they like to work with their hands, they like to work outdoors, weather doesn't affect their working outdoors? So this would include any of the trades, any veterinary, farming, anything working with animals or outdoors, as I said. The artistic, on the other hand, are very creative. So it doesn't just include art, contemporary art, of course. It includes anything in the arts like music, music composition, songwriting, film industry, documentary, screenplay writing, novel writing, creative writing, journalism, or any of the fashion industry where they're creating, and graphic design and so on. The social would be anyone who likes to help others. So any jobs where you're helping another person, and that would include not just nursing, teaching, counselling, psychologists, but areas and aspects of tourism and hospitality as well. The enterprising are the business entrepreneurial type. So they would be those who are really into ideas. They're not afraid to give them a go. They're quite sociable. They network well. In fact, one of the traits would be social boldness, where, neck is what we'd call it, I guess. They might come across as dominant. They're not sensitive to criticism. They see it as constructive. So you just have to think of the entrepreneurs that are out there in the public eye and imagine what their characteristics and personality is like. The investigative would be the scientists, the thinkers. They love to research, they love data, they love to find out and experiment and trial and hypothesize and so on. So they're, all of the sciences, engineering, medicine, health sciences. Now there is crossovers with social and health sciences, and with engineers can innovate and create as well, so there might be an overlap in the artistic. Conventional then would be the those who are rule conscious and like order and systems and structures, so accountants and to administrative staff and jobs in that area. So you can kind of consider what applies to your son or daughter when you're thinking about them applying for courses and making choices. So it is their responsibility, but they certainly need support. So they can research all the courses for which he or she is making an application to, and be au fait with all aspects of the application system, which we're helping them with on an ongoing basis. They can attend and make full use of open days and career talks in school. They're all virtual at the moment, they're not on campus. And remember what you can do. You can talk to someone who's done the course. Now, someone sensible, and even 2 or 3 different people, and hopefully you'll catch them on a good day and there'll be positive feedback and plenty of enthusiasm and encouragement. Attend the virtual college open day or evening. Remember, they're in evenings or on Saturdays, so that Leaving Cert doesn't miss school, and they don't have to attend the entire thing. They just can attend the parts of the day that apply or appeal to them. They can read the college undergraduate prospectus, which is online, and we have some hard copies. They can attend a virtual college talk in school, and they can meet with either of us guidance counsellors. They can visit the college website and look at the undergraduate courses there. And remember that if they apply before the 20th of January, they get the early bird discount fee for CAO at €30. If they leave it after the 5:15 on the 20th of January up until the 1st of February, it is going to cost them €45. And if they leave it after the 5th of February to the 1st of May, it'll cost them €60, and they will not be allowed to put restricted courses in. So that brings me to what applying to the CAO involves. It means you're applying to an institute of technology or a university, and these are known as technological universities now, and the umbrella heading for both is the higher education institutes. The CAO application is done through the CAO website. You type it in, you click on apply, and away you go.
Before you apply, you might want to browse the information under the applicants button or the parents button, and the courses are listed there. You can check the points for a course, you can do your points calculator, and you can look at the videos are very good and nice and short and apply to sections of the application process. This is the home page again. So when you go to cao.ie, this is the home page, you click on applicants here, click on parents. You can click on important dates if you're wondering what's going on at the moment and what's due in the coming weeks, and you can click apply because it has opened since the 5th of November. So when I click on applicants resources, this is for the students, the applicants. They have the demo, the handbook, the guides. They have the points for every course. They have a points calculator. They can find out about exemptions. They can find out, and we will help them with that too if they don't do Irish or French or Spanish or both. And they have the PLC entry down here. They explain what restricted courses are. And this is how they can fill up a CAO form. So it's online, and they get 10 choices at level 8 and 10 choices at level 6 and 7. So this is an example of a student interested in becoming an international hotel manager, but wants to stay in Galway because they live slightly closer to Galway than to Shannon. So they want to go and do the international hotel management first. There's one with more of an emphasis on business down there. Second, they want ultimately to become a manager, so they want to do commerce third, and then they're looking at the GMIT and looking at business in the GMIT at level 8. So that's as far as they've got. They haven't filled up the rest yet. They've just made a start, and this is as far as they are. Because remember, they've all of November, December and January, and again in May and June to fill up their CAO. It's not that it closes, but it charges you throughout February, March and April if you want to make changes. So nobody does. They leave it until May and June. So in level 6 and 7, they also get 10 choices, and they have put them down the matching courses at level 7. Okay, and they've gone down the Food and Innovation Enterprise course, the Culinary Arts, the International Tourism, the Business, the Event Management. So you can see the type of career direction very clearly that this applicant is pursuing. So this is the government body called the Quality and Qualifications of Ireland National Framework of Qualifications. So it is where the government has approved courses. So the Leaving Cert is here at level 5. So when a student completes the Leaving Cert and graduates, they have a level 5. If they go to a university, they usually jump to a level 8 honours degree. For example, all of NUIG's courses are at level 8, and almost all of UL's bar 1 are at level 8. Whereas the technological universities, the Institutes of Technology, have courses at level 6, 7 and 8. Now what does that mean? The Leaving Cert and PLCs are at level 5. A level 6 is called a higher certificate, and it's a 2-year course and is offered in both the PLCs, the Institutes of Technology or Technological Universities, and CHACASC. The Institutes of Technology offer level 7 3-year ordinary degrees. The universities and Institutes of Technology both offer level 8 honours degrees. A level 8 degree is usually 4 years but can be 3 in some cases. And the level 7s are all 3-year ordinary degrees. If you then have a degree, you become a graduate and you can go on to further study called postgraduate courses in a master's, a diploma, higher diploma, graduate diploma, and even to level 10 doctorate level where you have a PhD. Remember, the system is set up so that students can progress from a level 6 to a level 7 to a level 8 in most institutes of technology or technological universities. If they're top of the class or from an institute of technology's level 7, they may be able to transfer into a university's level 8. So the National Framework of Qualifications is recognised all over Europe and indeed the world. So if students are going to do a semester or part of their masters in a university in the US, they would be paying their fees to the university here in Ireland and going over there to do some of their research, which is a great opportunity in a young person's life. And the American colleges would well recognise this system. So how do you apply then to the CAO? Well, you click on cao.ie, you click on apply, and you start entering your courses. We would guide students to put down dream courses as the first three. Now, not ridiculously over points, that achievable points, that they are realistic and optimistic, but that they are their dream courses, and they're a little out of their reach, but it could be possible if they went up in points and the course came down. Numbers 4, 5, 6, and 7 are then what we call the realistic courses, which they're most likely to get offered in August. And then the last three, we encourage them to do their best to fill them up, because they want to see if they've any banker or courses, we call them, or insurance courses. In other words, if they didn't get any of the other 7, they're better off to have the options of saying yes or no to an 8, 9, or 10 offer. And they do the exact same thing on their level 8, and they map one onto the other, they mirror one with the other. In other words, like the student choosing hotel management, that the level 8 courses and the level 6 and 7 courses are in sync and not completely different career areas. The golden rule would be that they enter the codes correctly and they check that what they entered is what they're looking for. And very importantly, that they fill them in order of preference, not in order of highest points. They fill them in order of preference. They also need to be very careful that for each course, particularly at level 8, that they meet the course-specific entry requirements, and I'll come back to that in a little bit. And the CAO they can look at the alert list in case there's course isn't being accepted. They're either typing the code incorrectly, or the course has been cancelled, or there's a new name or title or code for it. So go into your CAO applicant section of the website and check the alert list for that particular college. Remember where you can look for specific course entry requirements. You can go into Qualifax, which we saw earlier in the slideshow, Students Course Finder CAO. You can choose a course, read specific course entry requirements, and then you can also go, and we'd strongly advise you go to the college website, you check the undergraduate courses section of it, and you type in the course you're interested in, and you read the entry requirements, or sometimes they call them the key facts, so that you're not applying to get into a course that you don't have the correct subjects or levels in your Leaving Cert for. If you have a query on language exemptions, the admissions office of the college you're going to would be one of the best sources of directing your query to. We will also help you at this stage, but once the application is done, it's the admissions office that would be taking it up. The predicted points section then would be done where you're tracking your results, you're looking to see how you're getting on, you're doing your points calculation, and where is it? It's in Qualifax in the student section under useful tools, the predicted points calculator. So just to remind you that the system is designed to progress. So if the young person is going, I am not going in and doing 4 years of college, then, or 3 even, how about the higher certificate courses? Because they are better off training unless they have a good job to progress to from Leaving Cert. They're better off going into the level 6 2 years course, or after 1 year of work applying for their level 6 course. Because if they get to like it and they get into it, and a full year in the world of work might be the best encouragement for them to go back and study something if they won't do it this year after Leaving Cert. Level 7 then is the 3rd year they can add on to it. Another year, it's called an add-on year, and make it a level 7. So in GMIT, for example, I might study business, and then I might do a 3rd year and make it a level 7 ordinary degree, and I might like it so much and be getting on very well and have had a great work placement that I want to do the level 8 honours degree. And GMIT are, and like any Institute of Technology, are set up so that if they start business and in a few weeks they really like accounting, they can move into the accountancy modules and progress towards becoming an accredited, chartered or certified accountant. So a higher certificate is a level 6, an ordinary degree is a level 7, and an honours degree is a level 8. And there you have your 3-year level 7. I know somebody who did a level 7 and finished at age 22 years and then went working, and at 46 years of age they went back and are doing the level 8 add-on year. So it's designed, as I said, so that they can return at any stage. Or they can go from Leaving Cert straight into a level 8, 3-year, 4-year or 5-year degree and have an honours degree in the National Framework of Qualifications, which allows them then to progress at a later stage to a level 9 and 10. A lot of these masters and posts are done while you're working. You can be working and doing them. So you'd hear adults back in university at night and weekends investing in further education. That's what they're doing. Now, going back to how you get into college, entry requirements that fancy term matriculation, must be satisfied before the points. So if a student gets a really good leaving cert and doesn't get a course, it's because they didn't meet something on the entry requirements to either get in firstly to the college and secondly to the specific course. So the universities which are in a group, NUI, Golem, Maynooth, UCC and UCD, all look that you pass 6 subjects, 2 at H5 at least and 4 at O6 or H7, and they must include unless exempt Irish, English, a language like your French or Spanish, maths and a science subject. Now, in the universities, NUI Galway, the commerce, law and arts degrees don't look for a science subject, okay, but they do look for Irish and the French or Spanish unless exempt. In NUI Galway, the science and engineering courses look for a science subject, look for a certain grade in engineering and maths, usually a H4, but they don't actually look for the French or Spanish. So that's why you have to look course by course when you're filling in your level 8 courses. The level 6s and 7s entry requirements are not as strict. Then when you get into the college and you meet the college entry requirements, the specific course entry requirements would say that not only do you have to have the higher maths, but you have to get a H4. That's what we mean by a course-specific subject requirement. If you don't get it, most of the universities provide a special maths exam. In fact, they provide a course that you can do for 6 days, the day after your leaving cert results starts. So if you get your H5 or 6 in maths and you wanted to do engineering in the university, you ought to go online to the college website and apply to do the course and the exam. It's not guaranteed even if you pass it, but it is another chance at getting into your engineering if that's what you want to do. In the Institutes of Technology and the technological universities, remember there's 2 types or levels of course. There's the level 6 and 7s and there's the level 8. The higher certificate 2-year and the 3-year ordinary degree look for at least 5 passes, including your maths, with either English or Irish. So you don't have to have had the Irish. So you don't have to worry about the exemptions if you're going into a level 6 or 7 in an Institute of Technology, and you have to get at least 160 points in one leaving cert sitting from your best 6 subjects. To get into a level 8, they want you to pass 6 subjects that must include maths and English or Irish, and in a lot of the courses they will accept the foundation maths, but that needs to be checked by going into the college website and Qualifax and looking up the course entry requirements. You need to have 2 subjects must be passed at H5 and 4 at O6 or H7. So it sounds complicated, but it's not. They're looking for 6 subjects. They're looking that you get the points for the course at those 6 subjects, and that within it you have the certain subjects and levels for particular courses at university level. So how do you do it? You go into that Qualifax website you saw earlier, you click on Students, Course Finder, CAO, go to the course provider, NUIG, click on the course that you're interested in and read the Leaving Cert entry requirements. Remember, if you want to do something like primary school teaching, all 4 teacher training colleges look for the H4 or better in Irish. And if you want to do engineering at university level, they all look for the H4 in maths or better, or a pass in the special engineering maths exam. What a student needs to get on the course then is the points from the best 6 subjects in their Leaving Cert. So when your son or daughter sits their Leaving Cert and the exams are all corrected, the results are taken, and the best 6 results are converted to points, right? And that is their Leaving Cert points calculation. They can enter 6, 7, 8 subjects into the points calculator, but only the best 6 will be taken. If they sit higher maths and they get a H6 or better, they get a bonus 25 points automatically. And if they're applying for medicine and they score over 550 points, every 5 points is what they call adjusted to 1. So a student who scores 555 actually comes out with 551, a 560 becomes 552, and so on, only for those applying for medicine. And remember, the HPAT result is added to those points. So how do you do your points calculator? You can go into Qualifax and do it from the Students Useful Tools button, Points Calculator, or you can do it from the CAO applicants. You can look at the points for the courses, points by year, and there's a Points Calculator in under the applicants button too. The closing dates are the 20th of January. You get the early discount rate for €30 if you create your CAO account before then, and then it goes up to €45, and then it goes from the 5th of May. It closes for 5 days and opens on the 5th of May to the 1st of May. It's for €60, and then on the 5th of May bank holiday it closes again for 5 days and it opens until the 1st of July, and you can change your mind all through May and June for free. Now, the only thing you cannot do later in May and June is add a restricted course. All restricted courses must go in before the 1st of February. And a restricted course would be a course that includes a portfolio like GMIT Contemporary Art, NUIG Medicine as the HBAT, NUI Music. They either have a portfolio, an audition, an aptitude test, or an interview. So you go into your CAO to click on apply, and you know what you set up as your password, and your CAO number will be emailed and texted to you. You can pay by debit or credit card. The receipt is emailed, which would be great if you could print it and keep it safe. Keep an eye on your son or daughter's CAO account, that the personal details are correct, that the choices are in order of preference, that you filled in the section 1 part of DARE, the supplementary information form. I'll come to that later. That you have February 5th to March 1st, the charge, you're aware it's €10 if you do go to making changes to your CAO. You can change choices for free up to the 1st of February, and again over from the 5th of May to the 1st of July. And you should be emailed a statement of application record in May. So it is really important to check your emails, because CAO communicate through email. So the next section then is what happens really from May to September or October. So you might need a break at this stage, or you can just fast forward or rewind as it suits you. The statement of application is a document that used to be posted, and in last year was the first year the CAO did not post it, they just emailed it. So you check your emails from CAO. It's sent in early May of 6th year, and what does it state? It's just checking, does CAO have the correct details? Is the student, the Leaving Cert student's name correct? Is their exam number correct, and their CAO number, their date of birth, their Leaving Cert subjects and levels? Now, they can still change level after early May, so don't worry if it says one level and they change level later in May or early June. Level 8 choices, it states what was the last entry. Don't worry again, that can change throughout May and June, and the same for level 6 and 7. They're just communicating that they have the right person and that that was what you last did. So the language exemptions as well, does that apply to you, and have you ticked the box in the CAO application? So here's the round 1 offer. So you're coming to August, we're now in August, and it is the second Tuesday in August, usually when the results come out, and 2 days later on Thursday, CAO will make their round 1 offers. So this Leaving Cert student did not get their first, second or third choice. Maybe they hadn't the points, maybe hadn't the subject or at the correct level for the course, but they were offered their 4th choice at level 8, and then they would also be made another offer at their level 6 and 7 column. They will never receive an offer below that. So they shouldn't have something down here that they prefer. Remember, order of preference is part of the golden rule. It shouldn't be below number 4 if they would prefer it to number 4. It should have been above it. So they have then to either accept their offer. So hopefully they'll receive 2 offers, one from each column in round 1, their level 8 column and their level 6, 7 column. They promptly accept only one, so you have a week to accept it, but we'd advise them to accept it the day it's offered or the day after. The CEO will then email them formal receipt of their acceptance, and they can print this out and keep it safe. It's proof of their acceptance, and they've, as I said, usually a week to accept. Now, if they just let it go and they don't accept, that's them telling CAO they don't want it. So CAO will just assume you don't want it. If you accept a round 1 offer, you will never be offered anything below that. But you could still be offered a higher preference offer on your CAO listed. There may not be a round 2, but if there is one, and a student has been offered a higher up choice, and in this example on round 2 they've been offered their 2nd choice, whereas on round 4 they were offered their 1st choice, they have options as to what they can do next. Right? So if in round 2 you receive the higher, better offer, you can just ignore it if you prefer the round 1 4th choice. Just ignore it and it'll go away. CEO will think you don't want it if you don't accept it. If they do want the higher round 2 2nd choice offer and accept it through their CAO account and by emailing CEO, it cancels any previously accepted offers. And if they have, by any chance, if this is not a round 2, it's around 3, 4, or 5, and they've started in a college and paid fees, and they're moving from maybe UL to NUIG, they can contact the fees office in UL and the fees office in NUIG to have the fees transferred. Any contact with CAO is through the CAO account the student has, but remember there might be around 2, 3 or 4 or so on. And if you fail to accept your round 1 or 2 offers, because your round 1 offer, it has to be in extreme circumstances and you have to have proof of it. Otherwise, they don't allow for human error if you forgot, in other words. The Leaving Cert self-service exam portal is a new online account that each Leaving Cert creates. Okay, it has nothing to do with the CAO account. The CAO is a separate account. So a Leaving Cert student will be given by the school management later in the spring their exam numbers and a PIN to create a self-service exam portal online account. They use it later in August to get their exam results. They log into this account. That's how you can get your exam results. And you can get hard copies in schools as well, but they're going more online each year. You also can apply to view scripts if you weren't happy with your exam papers. They're called scripts when they're corrected. You can apply through this portal to view your scripts. And then when you want to view scripts, you can view them through this portal, or in some cases, the scripts are on paper and you have to come into the school. You're given a set day and time in August to view scripts. Now, if you want to view scripts, it's free to view. Okay, but if you want to appeal them and have them checked, it costs approximately €40 per script. Each Leaving Cert will receive an exam booklet from the State Exams Commission later in probably May, and it'll be for everything they need to know about what we're talking about here. The Leaving Cert exam portal, you need to have your exam number and your PIN number to get into it. And you apply to have your scripts, as I said, appealed or rechecked, and they cost about €40. Now, these emails may have expired, but I put them in case it helps you next June, July or August when you want to make queries to the Exams Commission. They're the best people to answer. If you get an offer for CEO and you do not want to take it up this year, right, you're then into a deferral. So let's go back to your Leaving Cert results week. You got the results on Tuesday and you got your round 1 CEO offer 2 days later on Thursday. How they text you your offer, and it's also in your CAO account online. But you don't want to start college that September. You then contact the college admissions office and you look at the college website, deferral process, and you follow the instructions that they tell you or that you read on the website. And they will say to you whether you could apply to defer or not. Now, if you are deferring, you do not accept any CAO offer in August. That's, we encourage you to accept it promptly, and you had a week to accept. You don't accept it all if you're thinking about not taking it up that year. So what you're actually doing is you're entering a contract with that college. So let's say, for example, I got offered science in NUIG, and I do want to do it, but not till the following year. And I contacted the admissions office in NUIG, and they told me that I could defer it and what to do. So I emailed them, and they granted the deferral, and I didn't accept it on my CAO account. The following year, I create another CAO. So when I'm emailing them, I mark deferred entry on the email or in the envelope if I'm writing to them, but really it's through email, and I'm emailing the admissions office of the college. So it must arrive 2 days before the reply date. So if I get my offer on a Thursday, I must work on my deferral the very next day, or that day, even that Thursday and Friday, and apply for it before the following Thursday, 2 days before the following Thursday. And I can read the CAO handbook on the deferral section. Once I've applied to defer, the college, which is the Higher Education Institute, will tell me informally then, they've spoken over the phone with me and told me how to do it in the admissions office, but formally they will tell me, yes, you can defer. We will hold science for 1 more year for you. Well, then you are entering an agreement with them saying that I will apply for science the following year, but it is the only course I'm allowed to put down on my CAO. So you go and you create a CAO account for the following year, a fresh account, but you only put 1 course down, level 8 NUIG science. No other courses are allowed to go down. But if the college say no, we're not deferring that course, then you have to make the decision whether you're going to accept it and can start that September, or whether you're going to let it go perhaps take a chance and reapply to lots of courses next year, including that particular one. If you're way over the points, you might feel competent enough to do that, but just be careful, points can shoot up in the odd course. Available places then is if a college course does not fill up. Now, it doesn't mean that the course is not good, it means that it is not popular. You see, popularity pushes points up, and if it's in a location that they're not willing to travel to, then that's why it can sometimes be in the available places list. So because not all courses fill, the colleges advertise these in August on the CAO website after round 1 and 2. So if it is a restricted course, you have to contact the college, because that meant you're adding a course in late August and they might have had an audition or an interview or a portfolio back in March. People who have not applied at all to CAO, imagine you can still create an account in August, pay €45 and take the available or vacant place. If you're an existing CAO applicant, which is most people, then you've no fee to pay and you can just apply for a vacant place. The other options after Leaving Cert that are really, really good and often get overlooked because they're simply not known is the Teagasc courses. They are excellent at level 5 and 6, and you can progress into the Institutes of Technology and universities from these courses to level 7 and 8. We have a set of booklets, annuals they're like, from Teagasc, so please come see us and take one if this interests you. Traineeships are like apprenticeships, but they're shorter and they're usually about 2 years long. The Defence Forces mostly advertise for recruitment or competition, as they call it, in military.ie. Now this covers the Army, the Navy and the Air Corps. The Guards website has a careers section and they will advertise there on guarded.ie for trainee guards. And the others who want to go for straight to employment, it's really important that before they leave school, all over April and May, they should be perfecting their CV and their cover letters so that they are ready to enter the world of work or job hunt. A gap year we'd strongly recommend, because Leaving Certs can use their Leaving Cert results and apply to CAO every year until they turn 23. So when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, you can apply to CAO. It's when you turn 23, you change category of applicant and become a mature applicant, and there's less places on offer. Repeating isn't the option it used to be, because the PLCs are allowing students to apply to CAO and use the PLC, which is easier than repeating 6 subjects, because you have to repeat 6 subjects for points. So it's very important that you understand the system, that you're au fait with the system, so that you can know what are the best options in August. And some people repeat in private colleges. In relation to the apprenticeships, there's an awful lot of work being done by the Minister for Higher Education at the moment in generating apprenticeships, because there's a shortage. They cannot get the young people. So if you Google generation apprenticeships, this website comes up, and if you search careers portal apprenticeships, this website comes up. So they're 2 different websites. This is the government one, and if you scroll down, you'll be able to see what kind of jobs are really available live out there in the real world. And if you go into the careers portal one, you'll be able to read up on all kinds of information about apprenticeships, including salary of that particular qualification once qualified. So if you want, we really strongly advise you to go to this website, Career Services, if you're interested in apprenticeships with general apprenticeships, the ESB, Éireann Road Éireann, the paramedics with the HSC, with guards, the military, prison officers, or the HPAT for medicine. They have an alert service for any of those areas I mentioned. If you log into the website and register with the job alert, they will alert you, the parent, when they open for recruitment. Now, for example, the ESB has been on a 5-year recruitment drive, and it's going to open again next February. And this company do an excellent preparatory day for any young person applying for that apprenticeship. So it's well worth looking into their websites, and they do great. They have brilliant information on applying for the guards. In fact, I think they're better than the actual websites themselves. Traineeships, examples of them would include manufacturing apprenticeships, IT apprenticeships, tourism apprenticeships. So it's not just in electrical, carpentry, plumbing and so on, like the traditional craft apprenticeships. There's a whole new generation of apprenticeships and traineeships coming on board. Another option for our Leaving Certs is the post-Leaving Cert college route, which is really very, very popular. So you can apply directly to the PLC as soon as application opens, or you can apply, you can keep an eye on them. It's usually in February. So the PLC colleges are GTI, Galway Community College, Limerick College of Further Education, and in Athenry there's Claren College. PLCcourses.ie is a generic website for searching PLCs all over the country. And the reasons why, I've mentioned them throughout the presentation. If a young person is not sure what they'd like to do, they would like to try out the course, there's all kinds of PLCs to match. So they might feel they're too young. They mightn't think they'll get directly into their course. They might need it to prepare for their course, like the art portfolio. They might want to work part-time and save for a year, and they only want to do a 1 or 2 year course. Pre-nursing is a very popular one to do to help them to get into the course if they don't get it straight from Leaving Cert. It's not guaranteed because there's less places kept for PLC students applying for nursing, but it is still an option. And others include, I'll show you the links actually. So if you're going to NUI Galway from a PLC like GTI, if you did a business PLC, there's an option. There's 30 places kept for students coming from all the PLCs in the country into commerce. And there's 70 places for arts. There's about another 70 spread across science. There's a small number in business information systems because it falls in under commerce. I think there's about 5 places. Now, unfortunately, there's very few places for NUIG nursing. There's only about 2, and for GMIT nursing, about 5. And in total, there's about 80 places kept for nursing in PLCs. In the art colleges, they like to see a portfolio. Now, you can still go from Leaving Cert into art college in Limerick School of Art and Design, for example, without going to a PLC, but it gives you breathing space and you can get a job, a part-time job, while you're doing a PLC and working on your art portfolio. As I mentioned, repeating isn't the option it used to be, and the student needs to look at why they're repeating and what their aim is, what their motivation is and their focus. They need to really know what the teachers would say to them if they were to repeat and do their best that they'd get. And then they need to look at what they think they would get in each subject that they'd be repeating. And they need to contact the school management on what their repeating your Leaving Cert policy is. And remember that if you do repeat subjects like English and Irish, you have to do all of the literature and new material in 1 year, the 2 year course in one. The other information seminars that are there to help parents every year around the country, there's different venues, and it's in the West, it's in NUI Galway, it'll be online, it'll be in the Here and There website, accesscollege.ie. PLCs have open days on the first Tuesday in March, usually in GTI and Galway Community College, and both NUIG and GMIT will have open days in March and April. Access programs are programs that support students access college who come from a background where there is no tradition of attending third level. There's maybe a medical card holders or a single income family or rent the family home. This is another option for help supporting students that the government has got the colleges to provide to ensure that students get an opportunity the same as everybody else, all students do. Another support is the student grant scheme. Now, if you're going to a college like in a university or a technological university or even a PLC, you apply for the grant. And Susie is the website, and this is what it looks like. And when you get into the homepage, click on the information videos. They are excellent, and they're the best way to learn about how to apply for the student grant. So why would you apply? Well, it pays for your fees, which are €3,000 a year if you don't qualify for it, and it pays for maintenance. And the maintenance depends on how near or far from the college that you live. So do deal with that. Later in March, we do a talk on the student grant for all Leaving Certs. They'll be invited to attend, and they apply during early April, which usually falls in the Easter holidays. You don't need your results to make an application. This is the website, susie.ie, that you apply for. This is another website that's really helpful with information for you. And as I said, have a look at the videos. What can you be gathering? So in 2022, this grant opens. So they're going to look for your original birth cert, copy of your passport if you were born outside Ireland, your P21 and P60s for anyone earning in the household at that address that the student has given, and P45 if employment has ceased. If you're self-employed, they'll want to see your accounts. If you're receiving any social welfare benefits for 2021, they'll want to see the total benefits for 2021, and the same for any income over 2021. They will look for information on savings, and they are also entitled to ask for your income documents that prove your income. So they basically can ask for certain documents because they need to know whether the student applying for the grant qualifies or not. So it's good that you gather the documents in the new year. So as soon as late January comes, you could be looking for your P21 or P60 information for 2021. So look in for the previous year for the student grant, and the same for the HERE scheme. The HERE scheme has opened now, November 2021, so they'll be looking for the same information, but for 2020. It's always the year before that they look for. Now, when you apply for the grant, once it's submitted, once your application is submitted, they stamp that the order they received it, and they go an order of receipt. So the earlier you apply, the more guaranteed you have of receiving the grant. And the closing date can change each year, so it opens early April. You can start gathering your documentation before that in January, and you can apply for it and have it finished hopefully by the end of May. Another source of information that supports you, the student and families, is the citizeninformation.ie website, where you go into education and training. Under third level, there's a section on fees and supports for third level education.
Another support for students applying for higher or further education is the HERE scheme. The website is accesscollege.ie/HERE, and we recommend that you watch the videos. So when you go into the website, you'll click on handbooks and forms and scroll down to the link for videos. It doesn't affect your student grant and it doesn't give you money, but it does examine the socio-economic background of the applicants and their family. If you become HERE eligible, it would offer, in some cases, not every single eligible HERE applicant will get offered points, but a good few will, and they don't publish who does and who doesn't and how many do or don't, but everyone would get other supports, which is mentoring and help with settling into college, with study, with finance, and other social issues third level students may encounter. So you can apply for the HERE scheme through the CAO account that you set up. The form is embedded in there. In fact, you electronically request your form. And again, we'll help Leaving Cert students any Monday at lunchtime if they come over to us with this. We have laptops and internet in which they can continue to apply for their HERE scheme through their CAO account once they have the CAO account set up. And what families can be gathering is, remember, the HERE scheme and DARE opens on November of Leaving Cert. So it is the previous year's income documents from the household. So what they want to see is the total income coming into the household for 2020 if you are applying in November 2021, for example. It's always the previous year they look for. Of the HERE website. So accesscollege.ie/HERE. Click into handbooks and forms. I recommend you read the leaflet when you click in here. Then you scroll down and watch the video. And then you scroll back up and you read the applicant handbook in that order. So leaflet, video, handbook. Another scheme that the government have for students at disadvantage would be the DARE scheme. So again, it's the same website but /DARE. And if a student in Leaving Cert has any kind of a learning difficulty with a report to prove it, then they're entitled to apply. The learning difficulties of dyslexia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia, if they have an ongoing mental health issue, if they have a significant ongoing illness, a neurological condition, a sensory disability, physical disability, they are entitled to apply for the DARE scheme. Now they may be eligible and still not get a place on DARE, get the points, because there's so many others who might be DARE and indeed both HERE and DARE that get it. So it's case sensitive, but they still ought to apply if they believe that they are entitled to it. They apply through their CAO account, so you can do Section A once your CAO account is set up. Mr. Howley will meet you if you contact him through Teams chat, text him and say you wish to do Section B, which is the section that the school does, and Section C then is proof of the condition or disability, and all copies of any supporting documents that the DARE group look for must be posted to the CAO before the 15th of March, and the address is on the DARE handbook. If you go to accesscollege.ie/DARE and you click on this button over here called Handbooks and Forms, you'll see that you have 3 or 4 different things there. Scroll down to the leaflet.
and read the leaflet first, then scroll down to the video, watch the video next, and then go thirdly and read the handbook. It'll be a much easier way of grasping DARE. Thank you. Another support for Leaving Cert students applying for colleges would include the scholarships. So if you Google any website, any college website, and search scholarships, there are three main areas they usually come under. One would be for elite athletes, the sports scholarships. One is the creative arts, and one is academic excellence. So the sports and athletic one is clear. The creative arts includes anything got to do with art, design, graphic design, web design, contemporary art, music, musicals, creative writing, journalism, anything that is in any ways creative. And the academic excellence would mean how you do in mostly school exam results. So when I went into Google and put NUI Galway scholarships and clicked into the results that came up, this is what came up, and in it would be all the information I need to know if I'm applying to NUI Galway sports scholarships or otherwise. Here's what happened when I Googled UL scholarships. So on the bottom right, you can see the sports scholarship, and on the top left, you can see the entrance scholarship. Now, the entrance scholarship is automatic. You can't do anything about it. And the sports scholarship, you can. So you can click into them and see what applies. UCD have, again, an Ad Astra Academy, which has the three types I mentioned earlier: sports, academic, and performing arts. DCU also has a sports scholarship, so just Google the website for the college and type in scholarships. Working on scholarships is advised during Christmas holidays and February midterm break. Other scholarships that are available that come out in the spring include the Naughton Foundation, Intel for Women, the Irish Tax Institute. NUIG's one is like UL's First 40, it's automatic, and the JP McManus one applies to those applying to UL.
Anyone applying to the UK can look at the website ucas.com and contact Mr. Howley. Now, the time frame for applying for this begins in fifth year, April and May of fifth year. It continues in August, September, and most applications are done well before Christmas, with the last minute done in early January, as there's a closing date of the 15th of October and the 15th of January. So you need to give this time, because the personal statement takes time and several drafts. And also be aware that despite Irish applicants being recognised by UK colleges with home fees status, which means they pay the same fees as British citizens applying to college in the UK, the fees are still quite significant and quite high. So just to be aware of that. But you need to see Mr. Howley as soon as possible, and that is in term one.
Okay, and if you're applying to Europe, you also continue to text Mr. Howley, but check out these websites as well, particularly unicast.ie. The company is based in Ennis, and it is well worth a consultation because they are like the CAO for applying to mainland.
So check out the school website, www.gortcs.com, and if you look at the home page, there's a link to the careers section where you'll find a link to this video and any other relevant information from the careers department.
There. Remember at the start I mentioned how you can access the guidance counsellors. Check our emails, check our Teams account for Leaving Cert Careers 2022. I hope it helped and it didn't overwhelm you with information. You can scroll back yourself through the presentation and tune into the sections that apply to you and replay them. Thank you very much for your time.